Welcome to Season 4 of The Man Who Woke Up the Buddha. This is Episode 4, How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Previously, as Sid recovered from his fall on the ice, he and the Buddha watched the documentary, Sid and Money, go figure, in which he narrowly avoided bankruptcy and ended up making $30,000 trading heating oil futures. After making his improbable profit in the futures market, Sid spent the following decades using his irresistible and irrepressible presence to make a modest few million, through a combination of instinct, intuition, attention deficit, and pure whimsy. He'd buy, sell, or build real estate, and buy, sell, or start small businesses, in deals that somehow made everyone feel like they'd won. When Sid talked, his face lit up with an eagerness you typically only see on the face of a black lab looking at a tennis ball, or a recreational coke user looking at a line his best friend just put out on the table. Whatever Sid was so excited about, you wanted to be excited about too, even if you had no idea what he was talking about. He used his ability to raise each eyebrow independently to suggest both crazed idiocy and some secret knowledge, absolute conviction that the next moment would be as thrilling, if not more so, than the previous one. Whether it appeared as another drink, a great joke, a story about an alligator crawling up onto the fairway on number 7 and taking his golf ball, or these days, having one of his grandkids say the darndest thing. Since Sid's diagnosis, Di and Jake were pretty much taking care of things at the office, so he had plenty of time to focus on his favorite part of being in business, sitting in his office, doodling, drinking chocolate milk, reading obscure business publications, and staring into space. Nothing like an empty mind to make room for new realizations, the Buddha thought approvingly. Of course, you wouldn't want to overdo it. After stilling his own mind briefly, for old time's sake, the Buddha realized Sid was about to have visitors. Sid was in his office sitting in a vintage oak banker's chair with his feet up on the desk. There was a blank pad on his side of the desk and 2 on the opposite side, with perfectly sharpened pencils on top. He had the feeling he was about to have visitors. In fact, he had just brewed a pot of coffee and had 2 cups next to them. "Hi, Grandpa," Courtney said with a big smile, walking into his office. "Hi, Grandpa," Sistah said with a big smile, walking in behind her. "Hi, Polly," they said in unison. "Sistah!" Polly yelled enthusiastically. "Kaka," he added, looking at Courtney with a few approving chirps. He was sitting on Sid's shoulder. "Polly, better go to your office. It looks like we have work to do," Sid said, indicating what looked like a miniature coat rack a few feet away. "Work!" Polly said, sounding faintly alarmed, as he flew immediately to the safety of his perch, adding, "Pway!" when he got himself settled. Like most people in the Boston area, Polly had trouble saying his L's. "Gee, Grandpa Sid, how did you know we were coming?" Sistah asked, scrunching her face and laughing at the same time. "I'm omniscient." "Really, Mr. Sid?" Sistah said happily. "I always wanted to meet someone omniscient." "I know," Sid said. Of course, the Buddha thought, omniscience doesn't mean knowing everything. Of course, Sid added, it's not about knowing everything. It's about being open enough to receive whatever answer is appropriate for the moment. "It's not so much what you know, but how you know it," Sid explained. "Now, what brings you children here when you should be off ruining your minds with what passes for higher education?" "Don't you know?" Courtney asked. "Of course I do. Do you?" "The best answer is often another question," the Buddha acknowledged. "Well," Courtney said, wondering what her grandfather's reaction would be, "Sistah decided we should take a course in entrepreneurship this semester." Sid looked back and forth between them. So did Polly. "I think I just heard a pin drop," Sid said. "You two better get yourself some coffee, while I open my heart wide enough to receive this disturbing information." "I'll get it, Court." "Cream's in the little refrigerator. Get Polly a piece of apple while you're at it. He doesn't drink coffee." "Apple!" Polly said enthusiastically. "While she's doing that, Court, could you tell me what this so-called course is about?" As Sistah brought over the coffee, Courtney reached down to take a book out of her bag, looked up mischievously at her grandfather, and started reading. Economics 101, Entrepreneurship. This course introduces students to the applied study of entrepreneurial behavior. Topics include leveraging core competencies, allocative efficiency, price signal interpretation, competitive market dynamics, and maximizing incentive structures. Students will examine how entrepreneurs navigate scarcity, respond to market signals, and create value within existing economic framework. Well, that certainly takes Maya to a whole new level, the Buddha thought. I don't understand a word you said, Sid confessed. But you're an entrepreneur, right, Grandpa? Courtney asked. Yes, but whoever wrote that clearly needs a course in English as a second language. Sistah, he asked, reaching into his top drawer for a fistful of markers, could you bring that easel over here? You mean I can be the scribe? Sistah answered eagerly. I always wanted to be a scribe. I know, Sid said. Better leave off the hearts and flowers, Sistah, Courtney cautioned. Sistah picked up a pink pen, wrote entrepreneur at the top, and surrounded it with a big heart. Now, cross out entrepreneur, Sid began, and write creative people. Okay, Courtney, give me that first phrase. Sistah, just write my translation. Yes, Sid, Mr. Sid, sir, Sistah said as if she were reporting for duty. Applied study of entrepreneurial behavior, Courtney read. How creative people run businesses, Sid translated. Next. Leveraging core competencies. Do what they do best. Allocative efficiency. Use what they got where it'll do the most good. Price signal interpretation. Courtney kept lobbing the phrases like softballs. Figure out what to charge. Sistah drew a dollar sign with a question mark. Admirable initiative, Sistah. What's next, Courtney? Competitive market dynamics. Spy on the competition, Sid said, as Sistah drew a telescope. Just kidding, Sid said. Sistah drew a smiley face. Kind of, Sid added. So Sistah put a question mark over it. Maximizing incentive structures, Courtney continued. Trick people into buying their stuff. Sistah drew a dollar bill coming out of a hat. Sort of kidding, Sid added, so Sistah wrote, ha! above the hat. Sid sighed. Give me a hard one, would you, Courtney? Navigate scarcity. Deal with running out of things. Sistah drew a sad face. Respond to market signals. Make wild guesses what will happen next. Create value. Everybody wins. Sistah drew another smiley face next to the first one. Within existing economic frameworks. Sid paused. That's wrong in any language, he said dismissively. It should be with total disregard for conventional business practices. Sistah drew a book and then crossed it out. No prior background in economics required. The less baggage, the better, Sid translated, as Sistah drew a suitcase with an X through it. Okay, please put it all together, Sistah, Sid asked politely. Please, Sistah, Polly squawked a bit plaintively. He was getting a stiff neck from looking back and forth so much. Sistah put the markers back on Sid's desk, stood up a little straighter, and furrowed her brows if she were about to recite the Gettysburg Address or Adam Smith's The Wealth of Nations. What Grandpa Sid is saying is, when creative people are in business, they do what they do best, use what they have where it'll do the most good, figure out what to charge, spy on the competition, just kidding, trick people into buying their stuff, sort of kidding, deal with running out of things, make wild guesses what will happen next, and make sure everybody wins with total disregard for conventional business practices. The less baggage, the better. Excellent, Sistah. You're a quick learner. And an even faster sketcher. Well, is that how you do business, Grandpa? Courtney asked. No, I always just fly by the seat of my pants. Sistah drew a pair of pants with wings. Thanks for listening to The Man Who Woke Up the Buddha. Just a reminder, paid subscribers get free paperback copies of the first 3 seasons.